Yo, what is up YouTube, man? Today we're going to be talking about the top 3 best power forward builds in NBA 2K25. Now, when a lot of people make their power forward builds, they're basing it on playing with a squad. It's for a certain type of mode like Stage or Pro-Am. For this video, every build's going to be able to fit in with a squad or no squad, and you can play any type of mode with it. You can adjust the build based on what mode you play the most. Let's get right into it. Starting right off, 6'8" power forward. This is a very safe pick. If you've never made a power forward build before, going 6'8" and going with a build that is somewhat like this will be really good. As you guys can see, defense super well rounded with every attribute. Good perimeter, solid steal, good interior block, and then really good rebounding. I'm putting +5 on the defensive rebounding so we can get that to 99 to have that legend rebound chaser. Now, for most comp pro-am or stage type power forwards, they're going to have their steal a bit higher. But if you're not sweating the game, if you're just hooping, 85 is plenty. As you guys can see too in the physicals, very fast, very good agility, good strength, good vertical. Overall, this build can do it all on defense. It fits perfectly with a center, whether it's an inside or an outside. And you guys can see, man, Hall of Fame box out beast with the legend rebound chaser once you put the +5 to defensive rebound. This build is perfect to play as the big man in the 2s and the 3s and park as well. You guys can see when it comes to the playmaking, just the 75 pass act now. A lot of people in Pro-Am in stage, they'll go really low on their pass act for their power forward, you know, 65, possibly even lower than that, and they will put it on their steal. That's usually what they go for. But trust me, if you're playing a lot of rec, if you're playing a lot of park, you want to be able to throw the fast break effectively as you're getting the rebounds, and having 75 is going to allow you to do that. Putting on Sabonis passed out is perfect for the fast break passes as well. The shooting on this build is nothing crazy. This is meant to be a spot up shooting build, so you'll be able to knock down once you get dotted in the corner. Not too much else with that. You can see on the finishing, you are going to have the 72 standing dunk, 60 driving dunk. That doesn't sound like a lot, but the 72 standing dunk getting you the rise up on bronze is going to make it to where whenever you get hit in the paint, your guy is going to go up with a dunk rather than a layup. To go along with the 60 driving dunk, you won't be posterizing anybody, but as long as you get a step on him whenever you're going to the hoop, you're going to be able to get a reliable dunk every single time. This 6'8" power forward is kind of the most safe bet to go. It's going to work in rec, park, pro-am, 3s, 2s. Probably not 1s. You definitely don't want to take that to the 1s, but I mean, you could kind of grit your way to some buckets just because the defense is so good. Going to the next height, 6'7". Now, this is what most people would consider the meta height for power forwards, especially in the comp mode. You guys can see I actually make this a lot different than you're going to see a lot of people do, though. When it comes to the steal, I have an 89. I'm going to put +5 cap breakers on it to get it to 94. That's going to be Hall of Fame interceptor. When it comes to perimeter defense, I'm going to have an 88. I'm going to put 4 cap breakers on that to get it to 92. That's going to get my badges like on-ball menace, challenger, pig dodger, all on gold. And that's going to make you a very good perimeter defender with this build. Even though it is a power forward, this one's going to be a lot more switchy. It's going to be good for if you're playing sides with somebody. You can go for blitzes. If you're in a situation where you got a bunch of bigs and you want to play with your boys, you know, you could pull this out. You could play this at the 3. You could possibly even play it at the 2. You guys can see I go really high on the shooting with that 87 mid-range shot. Rather than focusing on dunk on this build, I put post control to get me gold post fade phenom. So this build is a bit more of a post scoring, power forward, back end type build. I still have some dunking ratings. 40 standing, 50 driving, just so whenever you're wide open, your player will dunk the ball rather than laying it up. Unlike the 6'8", this build is a bit more of a lockdown compared to more of a back end. It's got a bit more speed. You guys can see it's lacking a bit on the rebounding, but 92 gets you that gold rebound chaser. You still have 80 for that offensive rebounds if you want to crash out of the corner. And if you want to change this 6'7" up a bit to be more meta, you could lower the perimeter defense down to 85, and you can add that to where you want it. You could take away the post control and put it on some dunking. But me personally, man, I like playing as a post scorer on lock builds. Usually two teams will try to defend you with their lesser defensive builds, possibly point guards, shooting guards, and you'll be able to get buckets on them. For the final power forward of this video, this is going to be a 6'10" power forward. And you won't see a build like this very often in things like Stage and Pro-Am, but you will see it a lot in Park and Rec. As you guys can see, man, I got the 94 D-board to have 99 defensive rebound with the 80 offensive rebound, legend rebound chaser as a 6'10". You're going to get a lot of boards with this build. The physical is still pretty good. 75 speed, 70 agility, good strength, good vertical. You guys can see 80 steal, 80 perimeter defense. And if you're playing with another center on this build, I mean, you guys are going to be the twin towers in the paint. You guys can can see 75 pass act, so you can get that silver break starter. The Sabonis pass style, be able to throw the fast breaks. The shooting, not too much. You guys can see we just have some three-pointer on this build. You couldn't have it too high with having long wingspan, so the defense is solid. But what you're lacking in the shooting, and you'll still be able to knock down with those ratings, you're going to have in the finishing category. Put 3 cap breakers on the standing dunk to get it to 90 to go along with the 75 driving dunk. That's going to get you the best dunk packages in the game, especially some really good ones like Wembanyama, Dwight Howard, Giannis. This build is going to be an offensive and defensive monster. You can go out here at the 4 and put up crazy rebounding numbers. You can get a ton of blocks. You know, you can be a scoring option that people don't expect, because I see a lot of people, and you can see the name, man, board hunting lob threat. I mean, it does not get much better than that. But a lot of people don't really know how to get themselves involved in the game on a power forward. So what a lot of people end up doing is they just focus on defense on their power forward, and they just kind of have the minimal offense to get some backdoor dunks, you know, to hit the occasional open catch and shoot. But that's not a whole lot of fun, especially if you're somebody that likes to score, you like to dunk. So this last power forward, the 6'10", it's more of the fun version, and it's also, you know, a competitive version. All these builds work in all modes. Now, obviously, you know, adjust the build to what you have. You know, a lot of people are going to have more cap breakers than I do. I didn't want to make builds only for vet 2s because a lot of the people that play 2K, they're casuals. They might only have 5, 6, 7, 8. As you guys can see, I'm going to show you a couple of gameplays on a few power forward builds that I have. On the first gameplay you're going to see, I'm on my 6'7". If you guys remember the second build I showed you, this is pretty much that, just the version I showed you was the better created one. I made this earlier in the year. I didn't know how many cap breakers we were going to have, so mine is not as good as the one I showed you, but I'm not really a believer in deleting a build just because it's not fully optimized. I mean, I think you can definitely make a build work, especially to, you know, if you're just deleting a build to make it a bit better, to have, you know, 5 more attributes somewhere else. That's a little bit of a waste of money. As you guys can see, going into the random rec, in this 6'7" power forward build plays so good in the random rec. I can't tell you guys how many times I end games with, you know, 8 steals, 28 points, 15 rebounds. You're going to see right here, you know, waiting it out off the jump ball, dot the center.
Oh my God, what the fuck is that? Put me
That's a
on the
little
shirt.
fucking
Put me
boy.
on the, you got a, listen, boss of the house, take that, nigga. I would have could.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's looking like he's
away.
got a prime Shaq build, and that works out perfect with this build because it's not a dunker. It's more of a, as you guys can see right here,
Okay, jump in your bag in.
post-score shot creator type build. And you can see, man, 80 offensive rebound with gold rebound chaser. It puts in work, especially too, the build is so athletic. I'm able to use my speed to get into good position. And on parts of my game that I'm lacking, as you guys know, the dunk on this build, I'm just going to be patient. I'm just going to lay it up, and it goes in. You guys can see right here, playing 2, playing the lane, Hall of Fame interceptor. You can actually use your badge +1 to put it to legend. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I actually think that Hall of Fame interceptor is plenty. And going 99 steal is a bit of a waste. You can see, man, on the offensive glass once again. Now, I do get blocked right there. You know, if I had a bit more standing dunk, it would have been better. But we end up getting a 3 out of it anyway, so it works out perfectly. And it seemed like the center I was playing with was a lot more offensive heavy. So, you know, I'm down there. I'm trying to get board 7 already. And the second quarter is only a couple minutes in. I go for a nice blitz steal right here. Being on a power forward with defense, you're going to get that two-way tenacity a lot. You can see, you know, Jimmy Butler hop jumper right here. Shout out to the random teammates as well. They were kind of just in game chat the whole time, you know, talking it up, playing the inbound, especially too, man, if your guy is inbounding the ball as a versatile, you know, fast power forward, you got to press it, you got to disrupt. And they hit me in the corner once again for another shot. I'm shooting 75% from the 3 on this build. Now, the version I showed you guys would only have 75 3-pointer. This build does have 79. But you have the higher midi on that build for the better shooting badges. That is definitely the best way to go when making this build. And playing power forward, playing shooting guard, these are important positions that somebody's got to fill, especially in modes like random rec, especially when playing with your boys. Everybody wants to be a PG. Everybody wants to be a center.
Man, if you what the fuck? pass that bitch to the power forward. He ain't
But
gonna
a
steal it.
team needs people that are going to play defense, that
they
are going to
said,
get
I think
buckets.
you
I
should
mean, you
play.
guys can see he's hitting me in the post once again. They want to see me cook. I dot him right back as they're leaving him open. This is a lockdown with max wingspan. Shooting,
We
you
got a
know,
reward
is
system.
not that great, and yet I have 26 points. You know, the build only has 92 defensive rebound. It's not a main rebounder on the court, yet I have 10 rebounds. 75 pass act is getting me these assists. And I mean,
game time.
it's just steals for days. To end the game, you guys are going to see I have 30 points, 12 rebounds. I end up getting 8 steals. The guy I matched up against, he ends up quitting the game because I'm just not letting him get any bucket. Once he does that, I can start playing off the AI, and I can start being in the lanes all over the place, disrupting. You can see super efficient as well. You can hear the teammate I played with. He's telling everyone to stay in the game. He's trying to get a streak going. I've got one more gameplay for you guys to see on this build. I did end up staying in with them.
Did y'all hear the ball touch the ground, bro?
And if you're somebody that does only play with randoms, I know there's a lot of people that applies to. This is the best way to find teammates, man. Go to the random rec, play a few games, you know, streak it up, and add people right here. I end up creating my shot. I mean, this is a power forward lockdown back-end type build. That is also a shot creator. They can't leave me at the top of the key open because I'm going to knock that down. No limitless needed. As long as your toes are on the line, you can see I'm showing off a lot more of the post-scoring ability on this build. Even though he gets it tied, I'm able to knock the shot down anyway. Now, obviously, there will be games, especially playing the power forward, where people are not going to dot you that often. You're only going to get a few shot attempts, but with the defense of the build, you know, you're still able to get involved on rebounds. You're still able to get some steals, disrupt. Also, too, man, sometimes people will just panic and throw you the ball last second. That's why I kind of like having a bag on my power forward builds, just so I'm not looking dumb. A lot of people, you know, they say you only need to be able to knock down the catch and shoots, and that might be right if you have good teammates, but if you're playing in random rec, you know, there's a lot of times where your PG is not going to be able to dribble, your center on your team is not going to be able to rebound, so you're going to have to be able to do some things yourself to make sure you guys win the game. Catch it in the mid-range shot right here. Rebounding, I mean, I don't know where the center's at. He's running the fast break. That's fine. I'm going to run it down myself, wait it out, dot him in the paint for a dunk. Game is a bit close in the fourth. We're only up 4 points. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to make sure I get us a good, you know, efficient look to put us up 6. And now all it's going to take is us just knocking down some free throws, which I'm not going to lie, man. If I can help it, I'm trying to get the ball in these situations because a lot of rec players have some very low free throw on their build. I'm not too sure why. Going into the next game, this is actually going to be on a pure stretch build. You see 6'10", 6'10" wingspan. I didn't show this type of build in the beginning because it's hard to use a build like this and be effective. I mean, you can see I'm basically a pure offensive forward now. I got block, I got interior, I got steal, I can help out on the rebounding, and of course I got some post control so I can go to the post. But a lot of people, you know, they're going to be on a build like this. They're going to miss 2-3 shots. They're not going to touch it the rest of the game, and they're not really going to be able to help too much on defense like some of the other builds can. They're not going to be able to, you know, switch. They're a bit slower, but if you're somebody that is a stretch big at heart, definitely think about making a build like this. I showed this earlier in the year. It's not optimized once again, but any type of 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", minimum wingspan, high shooting, good rebounding big can take over the game, and you're gonna see it in this video right here. The guy I'm going up against, funny, he's got like 87 driving dunk, 87 midi. I mean, he's just got the all 87s. He's trying to be well-rounded. I do respect it. Now, on a build like this, compared to all the ones I showed you, it's minimum wingspan, it's super high shooting, so I'm not just looking for the catch and shoots, the wide opens. I can take some contesteds, I can take some crazy shots that other builds wouldn't be able to hit. And you can see, man, even though my defensive rebounding, it's only an 80, I'm expecting the center to get a lot more boards than me. I'm still able to do my thing and help out just a bit, play my role. You can see my teammate hits me right here. I'm going to do a little Giannis step back behind the back, going to the left, doing the Jokic hop jumper through the defenders. It says open.
I'm open. There's 3 people on you. Good shot, 2K sis. Guess you know what you're doing. Let me shut the fuck up.
I do indeed know what I'm doing on this build. It's going to be impossible for them to contest it. Just having that high deadeye level on the build makes that. Check this out too, man. In the paint.
Oh my god. Who the fuck is this dude?
Run it back, do the Jokic pro play animation, and I mean, my teammate cannot believe it. He was getting frustrated early on thinking that I was going to end up selling him, but once I'm knocking down all the shots, I mean, his mood definitely changes. Run to the left, go off one leg with the Dirk dribble pull up right here. I love a build like this, testing out a whole bunch of different animations as well. A lot of them are ratings capped, and when you have a build with such high shootings, I'm able to use everything that I want. Now, at the half, the numbers, they don't look too crazy, but they are decent. Get dotted in the corner. I'm not too sure what my defender's doing. I thought he actually baited me to get back last second to contest the shot, but he doesn't. I'm using the Magic Johnson pass style as well on this build, just throwing bullets down the court. This build right here in this gameplay is a good example of, you know, I showed you guys the top 3 power forwards of my opinion. I showed you what would work best in lineups, playing with randoms. And even though I don't think the build I'm currently using is top 3 for everybody, it fits my playstyle well, so it's what I've made. And I recommend that for you guys, you know. Don't worry too much about being meta. Don't worry too much about making a build that someone else has made. Look for something and design something that's going to fit you. You know, if you like shooting from the hash, you know, you can make a stretch big at power forward. If you like being a just pure lock type build, then make, you know, a 6'7", 6'8". Just make sure you have a little bit of dunks, maybe some post control, just to have some offensive bag to you. And if you guys did enjoy the video, if you do want to drop a like and subscribe, of course, I do appreciate it. Until then, this is Tonic. I will catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.